I would say to myself, silly, don't do that differently. Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am back with the tag video. I was tagged by the lovely Isabelle from Isabelle Styles. Isabelle is one of my favourite YouTubers. She is also one of the loveliest people that I have met here on YouTube. So I'm delighted to do this tag whenever she has tagged me to do it. But also stay tuned to the end because I have a really exciting announcement for you guys. I have teamed up with some amazing ladies here on YouTube to do a giveaway, and it is a fabulous special giveaway. It's a Chanel giveaway. So I'm bouncing almost. I'm so excited to be able to be involved in a giveaway to give one of you guys the chance to win a Chanel piece. It's fabulous. I will give you the details at the end. It's just, I'm so blessed and happy to be able to do that one of you guys could win a Chanel piece. I think it's amazing to be able to do that. But anyway, back to the video. So I was tagged by Isabelle to do the tag, which I believe was started by Cat L. It is the If I Had a Luxury Time Machine. Now, if I had a luxury time machine, I would be a disaster because I would be going back to all the collections that I missed and that I loved, and I would be trying to stock them down and everything, but that is just not the premise of it, although that would be amazing. But what the premise of this video is, if I had a luxury time machine, what would I go back in time and do the same? So what are the things luxury-wise that I think that I have done quite well, or the standout ones that I think that I would do the same again? And also, what are my luxury regrets? What are the things that if I could go back in time, I would say to myself, silly, don't do that differently. And I think that those types of videos are really helpful for anybody watching these thinking about buying maybe certain things, because they give an insight into what we think we've done well and what we think we don't really want to talk about, because it's like therapy and it's maybe not so good. So I have my notes. I don't have my trusty agenda because I finally sent it back to Louis Vuitton to get it fixed. As you know, if you watch that video, the gold or the brass on the button is peeling, so I finally sent it back to get it fixed. And I have my two furry helpers who are probably going to sleep the whole way through this and ignore us, but they're there. And I'm going to start with the things that I think that I have done well. Now, obviously over the years there are lots of purchases that I am really happy with and wouldn't change, and I think I love them. They're things like the Chanel 19, for example. I absolutely don't regret buying that bag. I love that bag, but I haven't included that in the things that I would say I would do again, because I think these are maybe more like general themes to try and give some tips and guidance for buying luxury purchases. So the first one that I would say that I definitely don't regret and that I think that I did well was buying the Neverfull as my first luxury handbag. If you have watched my many videos raving about that bag, you will know that I absolutely love it. I think it's a fabulous bag. I think it is just an everyday, mine is the GM because I use it for work. I've used it for work, for travel, for everything. It's been everywhere. I recently replaced it with the exact same bag, only in the pink interior, because I love it that much and I get that much use out of it. I think it's amazing. So definitely I would say one of the things that I think I did well was buying that as my first luxury handbag. The other one that I think that I did well, and this is a pretty big one, I think, in my opinion, and it probably covers quite a span of time, and that is taking my time. I have said in other videos that I'm 40 this year. I didn't have a huge amount of luxury purchases for a long time. A lot of them came in the recent years. I bought my first luxury bag whenever I was 30, and I would say that one of the things that I did well, and I would urge to anybody that is listening, and I do have, I'm not sure if the finance video is coming before this or if this is coming first that you guys asked me to do, but it meant that instead of spending on luxury, I focused on other financial priorities first. Big things, world things, other than my really deep-seated love for luxury handbags, but things like saving for our house, things like saving for our wedding, having money in the bank, having rainy day savings, building a business, all of those things take money. And I think that taking my time and not rushing to buy luxury purchases when I couldn't really afford them, when I would have had to go into debt or take money from other things, was definitely one of the things that I have done well. Now, I did buy things on credit cards before, but I sold them, I cleared it. That was not a good thing, but generally I took my time and got my financial priorities sorted first. And I think that is, if any of these lessons that I have learned strike a chord with anybody, that should be one, because it's really, really important. The other one that I would say I think I have done well, or that I would do again, are my Chanel bags and when I have bought them. Now, I would of course love to have bought them even earlier, because Chanel bags just keep going up in price. They're so sought after, especially these little minis now that they don't make Chanel minis in caviar leather anymore. This one is caviar. That is one of the things that has just kept growing, I think, for me anyway, beyond a level that I would have envisaged. And I'm glad that I bought them when I did. I am lucky and fortunate enough to have a few Chanel minis. I would say that one of the things I did well was buying them at the time. Of course, one of the things that I didn't do well was I wish that I had bought my classic flap earlier. If you've heard the story or watched my videos before, my classic flap was for reaching a professional goal. And when I reached that goal, I bought the classic flap. So I couldn't, when I stuck it to that goal, I couldn't have bought it any earlier because it took that long to reach that goal. But from money ways and how much these bags have gone up in price, I wish that I had got the classic flap earlier. And I'm glad that I have bought these whenever I did. I suppose that is maybe the automatic question to come after that as well. Do you regret not having bought Hermes yet? Yes and no. Obviously yes, because if I am going to try and get a Kelly or a Birkin, for me probably more Kelly, yes, I would have needed to have started building up that relationship with Hermes and building up with an essay and having that sales profile. But to be honest with you, I wasn't really in a position to do it. Now, I know that I have quite a collection and I have all those Chanel bags, and that probably sounds silly, and you're saying, well, you could have bought the Hermes instead of buying the Chanel, but I wasn't ready to do it. I wasn't ready to put that amount of money into building up a relationship with the Hermes house. I love Chanel. I absolutely love Chanel. I will always love Chanel, and I wouldn't have wanted to sacrifice the Chanel bags that I have to chase the Hermes dream. And I'm not saying to anyone that does sacrifice their Chanel, if the Hermes is where your heart lies, go for it. But I wouldn't have wanted to give up some of these bags, more than some of these bags, to chase that Hermes, to build up that profile. So yes and no. Obviously, in a perfect world, if I had the money before to do both, yeah, obviously I would have wanted to have started that journey first, but I wouldn't have sacrificed the things that I have bought and spent my money on to chase the Hermes dream in the future. And now there are some things that I have done well. I have a longer list of some of the things that I maybe regret slightly and wish that I had done slightly differently. Thanks, Isabelle. One of my first regrets, I have to say, is I am an impulsive person. I have said that so many times. I am very, very impulsive. I could tell you so many stories about my impulsiveness, but we'd be here all day. I wish that I had learnt a little bit sooner not to just buy the bag in the colour that I loved, and more to look at the bag and whether or not it worked for my lifestyle. I'm talking specifically, for example, say the two Breas that I've had. I had the larger Brea, I had the smaller Brea that I have just sold. I will put a photograph in. Stunning, stunning bags. I walked into the boutique, saw the bag, saw the shiny leather, I like shiny things, saw the colour and bought it, and because I loved it. And I never really used either of those bags. And it's because I didn't look past the pretty bag and look to whether or not that worked for me. I wish I had got to realising that small crossbody bags that sit quite neatly to me, perfect example, hello, are what works. and I could have saved myself a lot of money and time and effort if I had got there quicker and realised that and thought about whether or not the bag actually worked for me in my lifestyle. And that's something that took me a while to get to. The next regret that I have, and I've mentioned the classic flap and not buying it sooner, I also regret not waiting for what I really wanted. Keep your eye on the prize. And I have two specific examples about this. I bought the Chanel turquoise. I should have brought the rectangle in here. That would have made sense. And I should have brought the other Let me go get them. Now, it makes much more sense to have these bags with you when I'm about to explain what I mean. And I've woken up Molly and Louie in the meantime. So what I mean by that is I had this bag, take this one first, for example, in the teal colour from the 18B collection. I had seen this bag in Dublin at a time in the classic flap, the medium, and I couldn't afford it. I just didn't have the money. I loved the colour and then became obsessed with the colour and tried to track it down. I couldn't find this, and I did find the square. Now, the square mini doesn't really work for me. I prefer my bag to sit crossbody that little bit longer, and the rectangle length works perfectly. But I couldn't find the rectangle and I came across the square. Now, you wouldn't wait for the one that you actually want, would you? No, 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 no. You would just go ahead and buy the one that's close to it, that's close. Anyway, so that is what I did. I bought the square. The square just sits too high. I just wasn't comfortable with it. And of course, it didn't stop me wanting to buy the rectangle. So I obviously then went ahead and bought the rectangle whenever I found it. And then I had both. And I say I regret not realising to wait for what you actually really, really want. Because the thing that you're buying as a substitute, most likely it won't scratch the itch. And you will still want the thing that you really wanted in the first place. But you'll have the substitute then as well. And you'll have spent all that money. And the next one is this. Anyone that's watched this channel before, I adore this bag. It's a ridiculous amount of adoringness, if that's even a word. I really, really love this bag. But when I first saw this bag, and Isabelle, who tagged me to do this video, is partly to blame. So Isabelle and Jerusha had this bag in this colour, in the mini size, and I absolutely adored it. Really, 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 really loved it. But I couldn't find it, and I really couldn't let go of the colour and let go of the shape. I love the chevron printing. And I then eventually found it in the medium. The medium doesn't work as well for me in bags like this that I want to wear crossbody. I am small, I'm only 5'1", but I'm a little bit too curvy for the medium size to sit properly on me crossbody. I should have waited for the mini. But I didn't. I went ahead and I bought the medium, and then of course, as soon as the mini came up, add the bag, buy, and I had to have it, and then I had two. So definitely one of the things I wish I had learnt earlier was to wait for the thing that I really, really wanted and not try and buy a substitute that I was then going to have to deal with later on when I still chased down the one of my dreams. Okay, this is a joyful, joyful video. I'm so glad I'm doing this part of it. Now, the other thing that I regret is that, where is it? Did I have the wit to bring it with me? Yes, I did. The Nano Speedy. She's so cute. She's so cute. I love mini bags. I love crossbody mini bags. And the bigger Speedy hadn't really worked out for me. So this was a bit of a no-brainer and I really wanted to get this bag. What I regret, and it's two things I suppose. I regret that I have no patience. There's a theme, I suppose, that goes with those other bags that we've just talked about. When I decided that I really, really wanted this, and of course it's never available online, I regret that I didn't wait and that I bought it down the reseller route. Now, I'm not making a point about resellers. I think that there is a place, and I have bought other hard to find, sought after, sold out bags that aren't still available, that you can't get if you wait, that are maybe past seasons or that are gone. I have bought them from resellers, and I will no doubt buy from resellers again if Instagram doesn't shut them all down. But I didn't wait for this, and I paid a premium for this. I paid a reseller's price, and I regret it. I do regret it. I paid too much for this bag. I shouldn't have done it. I should have waited and had the patience to realise that it would come eventually. And if it didn't, I paid too much for this bag. Now, that takes me on to my next point. Do you see how I've got more regrets? What I also regret is not building my relationship with my sales associates earlier. I know if I wanted to get this bag, for example, if we take this one, I would be able to get it because I have built a relationship with a sales associate, and I have no doubt that if I told him that I really, really wanted this, that he would track one down for me. The same as he did for the... where is she? This one. The same as he tracked this bag down for me, apparently the last in Europe and really hard to find, he would have found me that. So I regret not building that relationship sooner and spending the time with one person and shopping online and shopping with different people. If you are interested in Louis Vuitton or Chanel at all, and I'm sure Hermes as well, build the relationship with your sales associate because it can help you whenever it comes to finding those sorts of bags. So as one, that you get them, and two, you don't have to pay the reseller market rate for them, which can hurt. Can hurt. What else do I regret? Oh, this is such an uplifting afternoon. I'm so glad we're here. I also regret last year, and I have talked about this in my confessional videos and in my what I've sold recently video, I regret a little bit getting addicted to the old Louis Vuitton website and the add to cart, PayPal, checkout, and the amount of SLGs I bought. Now, the vast majority of them, luckily, I don't regret. I don't actually regret, and I really enjoy having in my collection, and I have been using. I regret buying the multiples and the 3 key holders and the 25 card holders and the multiples and the backups and all of those things. That was just crazy. It was crazy talk. And I regret how addicted I got to that, and how whenever it came online and the thrill of it being available, the thrill of it add to cart, the thrill of it being delivered, and then I realised I have 6 of these and I don't need 6, and what am I going to do with them? And now I have to deal with them. And of course when they arrived, I didn't figure that out quickly enough to send it back within Louis Vuitton's 14-day return policy. So I would say that I regret that because I did get very, very carried away. Now, I've said this before, lockdown was hard. It was hard, and it was one of the things, as materialistic as this sounds, it was one of the things that got me through lockdown and the boredom. So I suppose the regret has to be tinged with that. But yeah, I definitely got carried away. Another thing that I regret is that when I was telling you the story about this bag, I had the square. I no longer have the square because it wasn't the square I wanted, it was this one. And I regret how I sold the square. I sold, oh please, I have a video on my channel down there somewhere that's a collab with Dale from Dale's Addictions, who I adore. And it's about selling your bags. Please check that video out, and Dale's video if you're thinking about selling your bags. One of my biggest regrets and things that I have learned on this luxury journey is selling and how to sell. Well, I'm still no expert, but getting a bit better at how to sell. And I've just realised how much I'm talking with my hands today. But I sold that bag without knowing what I was doing, without doing any research, without having any idea about the resale price. When I think it was a square caviar mini in this colour, when I think about how much I sold that bag for, it would give me nightmares. It was, somebody got such a deal. It was ridiculously low how much I sold that bag for. I'm not even going to tell you how far under retail I sold that bag because I don't want to think about it. And I also, when I mentioned this bag, I used to have an Empreinte Speedy in the 25, the Speedy Bandolier, in basically this colour. There's a bit of a theme. And I loved it. I loved the colour, but it also fits into what I'm saying about buying bags and not really thinking about if that bag works for my lifestyle and just buying the bag that I like the look of. And the Speedy B, even the 25, is too big for me when I wear it crossbody. I feel that it looks too bulky, and I like smaller, slimmer bags. So this ties into that exact same point. It looked too big, too bulky in my mind. I loved the colour, and then I decided whenever I got a little bit of maturity or responsibility or whatever we're going to call it, to let it go, because I did use it for a good while, but I wasn't using it. It was sitting on my shelf. It was a very expensive bag sitting there, and I wasn't using it at all, and I sold it. but I foolishly sold it before I knew what I was doing. I hadn't discovered Instagram. I hadn't discovered YouTube. I am very late to all of those games. And I sold it for a ridiculously low price. And it breaks my heart to think about it. In fact, I almost wish I hadn't sold it and it was still there, even though I don't use it. That is how low I sold that bag for. So I regret again buying a bag that didn't work for me, but not doing my research and selling it for a ridiculously low price. The next one that I regret, I think you were meant to keep this to 6. I've gone a little bit over, but when I started thinking about it, these all came up in my mind. The next one that I regret is not buying this sooner. I unboxed this very, very recently on my channel, and I rallied against this bag for so long. I was insistent I was not buying this bag. I almost had like a resistance going on. I will not buy the multi-pochette. And it was nothing to do with the bag. I didn't like the way it had been marketed. I didn't like the way it was all over social media. And I just pulled against it. I should have bought this bag before the recent price increase, because it had been on my mind for so long. I can at times with my children be so casual. This bag works so well for me in that casual setting, but I bought it after the recent price increase. My SA, who we were just talking about, who's wonderful, had said to me not that long ago, "Are you sure you don't want to get this bag? It seems to me that it would fit for you, and it's going to go up in price at some point. Are you sure you don't want this bag?" No, don't want that bag. No, don't want that. Anyway, I wish I had bought this sooner and saved myself. I have a whole video on this, but I'm not going back to look at the exact price because it'll hurt more. I think about £170, which is what, $280. I wish I'd bought that sooner. And the last thing on my regrets, my luxury time machine, if I could skip on back and do things differently, I regret when I started this YouTube channel, which I love and I adore doing, and I love all of you who engage with me. Thank you so much. I love it. I regret that when I first started, I didn't put my face on the camera. And I am somebody that I don't care about what people think generally. You know, someone said to me recently about my Gucci Princetons, oh, they're a bit out. Laugh, lol, laughed out loud. Don't care. But when it came to starting this channel, I did care. I did care what people thought. I thought about what people in my business, commercial life would think. I knew how they would react if they came across this channel. I could just hear some of the comments, and I let that influence my decision making, and I let that stop me doing YouTube like this and in the way that I always wanted to do it when I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys in the camera. I let that stop me, and I regret that I didn't have the courage of my convictions from the outset, and I regret that I didn't do what I wanted to do, and I let that influence me, and I let that stop me do it. So what I would say, and Isabelle mentioned in her video that she regrets not doing her channel earlier, and she says if you're thinking about it, just do it. I'm going to say the same. If you're thinking about a YouTube channel, and I know that mine has been going for much less time and is much smaller than Isabelle's, but my message would be the same. If you're thinking about doing it, just do it. Just do it. Don't worry about what they say. Just do it. And now to the exciting bit, the bit that I have been dying to share with you all for the whole of this video, and it is giveaway time. I am so excited, and the reason I'm so excited about this giveaway, as I said at the start, is because it's Chanel. We get to give one of you guys a piece of Chanel, and I just think that's fabulous. I think it's... Gwenny, before you jump into the comment box, yes, I dropped the luxury. No, I shouldn't drop the luxury. Yes, I have to get better. But it fell off the bed. Anyway, back to the giveaway. And I'm just, the fact that we can give you guys Chanel is just, to me, amazing. So I have teamed up with the fabulous, the lovely, the wonderful Hannah from Hello Catwalk City, Saki, Amber Ashley's channel, and the lovely, beautiful Jamie from Luxe Petite, who has the trendy that she really needs to send to me in the post. But anyway, so the 5 of us have teamed up and pulled together to do this giveaway for you guys. And it is this amazingly beautiful Chanel card holder. Now, I don't have it in my possession. Hannah has it. Thank you so much to Hannah for arranging this and sorting out this giveaway. You are an absolute star, and this just shows the goodness in your heart to arrange this, to gift to somebody. And I'm in awe. But anyway, so here is a picture of what it is. It is this beautiful, beautiful Chanel card holder. Look at the colour. Now, hello, colour lover. So this is right up my street. I think it's fabulous. I'm going to leave the rules in the description box down below. It is going to be super simple. Really, you will need to be subscribed to all of us on YouTube, follow all of us on Instagram. There'll be a few other rules, but I will leave them in the description box down below. It is open internationally. Obviously, if I am doing it because the girls obviously live in America, I am Irish, so we have an international element to this, all inclusive over here on YouTube. So everybody has a chance to win, and it will be super simple, and it is 110% genuine giveaway. I give you my word. All of those ladies, I can tell you, would not be involved in a fake giveaway. This is an absolute genuine giveaway. It is a chance for one of you guys to get a little bit of Chanel, hopefully make you smile, hopefully make things a little bit better in this crazy, crazy world order. Being able to give something back and just being able to just maybe give a little bit of joy. It's amazing. It's fabulous. And it's Chanel. It's Chanel. Chanel. Anyway. I am so excited to do it. I'm so blessed and so happy to be able to do it. Please, everybody, enter, because it's a fabulous, fabulous prize. It is going to run from now until the end of the month, but I will put the exact dates in the description box down below, and the winner, I believe, will be drawn on the 1st of April and notified. So please, please jump into this giveaway, because it's an awesome, awesome piece. That is my video for today. I am sorry it went a little bit longer than I planned, as they generally do. Thank you to the beautiful sleeping assistants who are still on the bed. Thank you so much for watching me. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. Please take care, and I will see you again in the next one.